Hey everybody, it's good to see you all again. This segment is just to kind of let you guys know what is going on in this episode. So, in this episode, there is a situation. Towards the end, or anywhere in this episode, there is a blank. That means there's no sound coming in the episode, and you might think that is your fault. That is my fault. You can blame me, say it was my fault, because that is an editing problem, and that's because of recording and the recording platform that I use. If that happens to be in the episode, if that's in it, what you need to do is to just disregard it. Don't worry about it. Consider it like an ad break. Consider it like a break. Consider it like we're taking a 5 minute break. Consider it like that. So, no freaking out. No need to worry. Make sure you guys enjoy the episode, enjoy what's in it, and y'all have a good one. And enjoy this one. Really enjoy it and have fun. And please disregard the blanks in there, consider them breaks. Hope you guys enjoy this episode and thank you guys for understanding and for your cooperation. All right, perfect. It is take two. Hey, everybody. Welcome to season three. I'm so glad to have you guys on. This is DEEMO, and I'm so glad to have you. So sorry about the wait, but audio problems. What are you going to do?
Yeah, hey, thank you so much, Musically, for having me. I'm excited to, get this going.
I'm excited too. I'm excited. And the first thing that is really incredible is, of course, your new single. That's My Life, which if you guys do not have a chance to listen to it, he's got you covered right after the show. You'll be able to hear the whole track full. So tell me about this new single, That's My Life.
Yeah, so that's my life. It doesn't really mean what it sounds like it means, because it more like sounds like that's my life. Yeah, that's my life, like how it goes. Um, but it really has another meaning to it. It's more like, man, that's I guess that's my life. Life goes on. Basically, that's the kind of message I want people to get from it. And at the beginning of the chorus, it goes, "Take a deep breath. It'll all be fine." Um, that's just saying, it'll all be good. Life goes on. We'll get through the storm, basically, because there's nothing that we can't get out of. Um, and and then I talk about it as well in the chorus. Feel the blood rush into my head at night. Like I'm so anxious and my anxiety so heavy that I'm having trouble even sleeping, and I can feel blood rush into my head, and my head's throbbing. And then the next part, demons in my head say I won't be fine. There's voices in my head, and demons and the devil in my head telling me I won't make it. But that's just life, basically. That's just life. Um, but I wanted it was real catchy. That's my life. Like I just liked the way that flowed. And then it gets it's pretty vulnerable. Because in the verse, at first I talk about, you know, like, should I be a rock star? Should I really go for this? Driving a fast car. But then you think about it, and you hear it all the time from big artists. All the money and the fame, it doesn't last long. Like you only feel so high for so long until something happens, and then you're on a low. That's just the way life goes. We have highs and lows. But it got to the point where I was sitting in my office desk, I work in like a 8-story building, and I'm sitting up here, and I was going through so much at the time. I had a lot of money stolen out of my bank. I'm married. I have a 2-year-old. We didn't know how we were gonna make rent that month. We were struggling. My car, my car actually got repossessed. Like it was just real bad time in my life, and luckily that we had another car, but it just, was not a fun experience getting your car repossessed. And I actually thought my car got stolen. That was a funny thing is like we're calling 911. They're like, no, we got picked up, repossessed for not, and I just couldn't make the payments because of all that money that got stolen. I had savings. So it really impacted me, and I was struggling even with my faith. I was just I was going through a lot of hard things, and I remember sitting in my office and I started looking out the window, and I'm trying to write lyrics, but it's so hard when you're in such emotional and down, and I'm trying to write these lyrics. I'm like, you know what, like I know someone else is going through this, so I'm just gonna write what I'm feeling. And I started, visualizing, basically jumping out the window, and I started visualizing what the music video would look like for this song, and it really helped me pull the lyrics together. Jumping, jumping through the window, and I'm falling. As I fall, I see shattered ice. What it looked like shattered ice. It was glass, but I liked that lyric "shattered ice" because it looked like ice in my head, and so it was really cool for all those lyrics to come together the way they did. And I talk about how I would never do that just because I'm too scared, to do that. I'm That's just my personality. I would never actually jump out the window, and I would rather. It says I'd rather drown in my own debts than lay in my deathbed. Like because I do have a lot of debts as well. That's another thing that plays into this song is I have a lot of debts and money. School loans, other things like my car was a big thing. It got repossessed, but that was another debt, and there's just other things that really played into the song. But that's the origin. It's a very emotional. It's emo pop rap. Um, but it's very vulnerable, and it helps me. Music does help me get through these things as well. So it did help me through it all, and I'm doing way better. So I'm at a high right now. So I got out of it.
Thank God. I mean, wow. Sorry. That is crazy. I can never be like them. I'm so I'm so happy you got out of that whole situation. Like that's one of the hardest things, but like wow. Thank God you went through it, and I'm glad you made a song about it.
Yeah, I just feel like emotions are so great to put through music because people can relate to those, emotions, and they can feel that artist's pain. They can feel what they went through. Even talking about it, like I feel that feeling that I felt. I basically had just a flashback of what I was feeling, and even though I'm on a high, I still can remember what that feeling was, and thinking I was hopeless, and that the devil was in my head. He was just pushing me down, and I just kept fighting and eventually got through it. But I just feel like music is a way of emotions being brought into sound. Basically, that's how I feel about music.
Wow, that's deep. That's very deep, and I like that you are comfortable with going personal into life like that, into release music that's like literally about your life. I mean, was it hard to do that? Like, how did you feel? During the process of the song. Like, how did you feel, and how did it help you?
At first, I'll be honest, it was a little hard, because there's some very vulnerable things. I'm talking about jumping out the window. That doesn't that doesn't really look good, and people can see that as a sign of I need help. But we all have those times and thoughts where we just we want it all to end. And even though we don't really want it all to end, we just we have that time in our life where we just have such a low, and once you hit rock bottom, the only way you got left to go is up. Right? That's what they always say. Once you hit rock bottom, well, you can't go any further. You just got to get back up. um and so it was hard to like make this public. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little hard, but I found that it's helped me because knowing I've gotten a lot of comments and DMs from other fans and supporters that tell me like, "Hey man, what you're doing is really great. I listen to your music and I relate to this stuff and it kind of it'll help me when I'm going through a hard time." Um, and that's what I love. That's what makes it all worth it is that I have people reaching out and it's helping them because that's what I wanted to do more than anything. Um, is help people with their day to day either problems or storms in life. I call them storms because we have a storm that happens, and someone always told me was the only way to get out of the storm, don't run away from it, just run through it. You got to go forward. You can't run away from it because it's just going to follow you.
Very true, very true. Very, very true. Very bad points. And I'm glad you pointed those out because those are life lessons, not just in music. Those are life lessons. Like I'm glad you pointed those out because people don't really listen to help books that say that. So I hope that hearing it out of his mouth really helped you.
Yeah, and I mean, I want all my fans, to take an impact. If you just get some type of impact for my song, I'll be happy in a way that helps you. So I mean, that's the biggest thing is just making a positive impact. Even though I'm talking about very emotional and vulnerable things, if it helps you get through, if if I can get through it, you can too. There's nothing that we can't get through. Um, and so I just want to be that, you know, kind of like a therapist. My music is I hope that it's therapy to some people where they can sit down or listen in their car. They had a bad day at work, and my song comes on and helps them.
I'm really glad for that. I'm really glad that you're helping a lot of people. I mean, I support that. I like people like that are into helping, are into supporting other people. I mean, that's partially why the show even started. But other than that, um, other than that, since we're on deep topics, I'm curious to actually know about your um your future, just a little bit of it. So I know you just released your single, and you're probably wondering why I'm asking about. Because it always fascinates me with plans you got for the future. Just so you have open mind about like what you want to do moving forward. So what are your plans for after the single? Um, what's something we can look forward to?
Um, I'm really looking forward. I actually got a DM recently, and I got put on a list for this music festival that's going to be planned in the next month for the summer. It's probably going to be somewhere either late July, early August, but it's going to be a lot of artists that are kind of my vibe, and they make unique music. It's more vulnerable, um, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about that because I've always wanted to perform in a music festival, and get my music out there to where to reach as many people as I can and to help others that are struggling with the things that I'm struggling through as well. I'm excited to perform it. It's a really fun. I've always loved performing since I was in middle school and started playing trumpet and I played trumpet and I was a master of that instrument, and I was always top trumpet player. Made all state all 4 years in high school. So I've always enjoyed performing and putting a performance on the table. So I'm looking very forward to that. I'm also looking forward to this new song that I just finished the lyrics for, haven't started recording, but I just finished the lyrics. It's a pop punk type song. So it's very pop punk. Example, Blink 182, Avril Lavigne instrumental. type song, but vulnerable, vulnerable lyrics. It's called Young and in Love, and it's the origins of that one is just how my wife and I, we just had our first year anniversary, actually wedding anniversary, this the 18th of June. And so it's just talking about being young and in love, and going through struggles of marriage, but it's also it's also a great thing to be young and in love, and enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that song a lot too. So, and she's my number one fan. My wife is my number one fan, and I know that for a fact.
Wow. This is so exciting. Look at all the things happening, and all congrats on your anniversary, by the way.
Yep, it's awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad. And the song already looks the song already looks exciting. Like when is it coming out, or is it like in the process, like in the planning
It's in the process. I'm gonna do like a preview once I start recording. I usually will do like a snippet, and kind of just show a preview of what the song is gonna sound like. I'm not gonna show the best. I never show like my favorite parts. I always just show like the vibe part of it to get people kind of like interested, hooked on it a little bit. Um, and so I should have a snippet coming here. I would say next week or so, give or take. Just depends on if I can get that perfect recording, because I'm when I'm recording, I'm striving for perfection in my vocals, even though nobody's perfect, right? But
Mhm.
I want to get that take that I'm like, oh, that felt great. That's it. So just expect on my Instagram. I mean, I'm going to be posting all over social media that, little snippet, giving people a little idea of the new song. I'll have some vulnerability in there as well, just because that's, a good way to help someone just with that little snippet, and, maybe get them interested. Oh man, I had a bad day. Let me hear this little snippet, and I hear some, some good things in there. Um, and that's pretty much, all that is.
Wow, wow. This is so exciting. I can't wait for all this coming soon. This is so exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I love it. I love doing this. It's my passion. It's always been. So I look forward to sharing this new one, and it's actually funny how the song, because when after That's My Life, I was like, well, yeah, this is gonna be my genre. I always talk about like, oh, this is gonna be my genre. I'm gonna make this type of genre, but it never happens. I always make some different genre of music. And then it's funny because a fan on one of my social medias, it's called slaps.com. It's a pretty funny name for a website, but if it slaps, then people like it and comment. Basically, if it hits like it's a good song, they'll comment. And one of the guy was like, "Your voice would sound really good on a pop punk song." So like I replied back, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do one." And so he was excited about that. So I find new fans too by that way. And so in all my bios, I say, I can make any genre you can think of. I've always been able to just sit down and make. I've made EDM, I've made pop, I've made rock, I've made, of course, hip hop. I mean, I can just make any genre. I think that's where I really get creative. And I feel like that's the best way I can reach out to the most people is making a song that is in their favorite genre, and it's also vulnerable, and helps them out. But that way they enjoy listening to that.
Mm, wow, that's pretty cool. And I like that you can do like any genre, like so you can create a collab with anybody if you could.
Yeah, I mean, I'd collab with any genre. Just because, I mean, I love variety of music. I always have, even in my own playlist of my inspirations, and songs I listen to. I mean, I have such a wide variety of music. So
Mm, very interesting. And that's very good that you can be so versatile. I wish more people were like that. Because some people just limit themselves to just like one genre. It's like, you sure you want to do that? Are you really sure? Like,
I
you
would
know,
get bored. I
yeah,
would honestly get bored. I'd be like, what? Like, I already made a song like this. I need to create something different. I don't want to just make the same
yeah,
genre.
like
So,
exactly.
so I mean, any of my fans that are hearing this, just send me recommendations, and I'll make sure to add it to the list.
For sure. Y'all make sure to, break his DM.
Do it. I'll have a note. I'll have like notes dedicated to y'all's recommendations.
I think they're looking forward to it. I think they're in your DMs right now.
I have gotten a couple since we've been talking, so
Oh wow.
that's good.
Wow. And actually I'm curious to know, like earlier you mentioned the trumpet is basically your life. In your song
Mhm.
you put a lot of trumpet. So what motivated you to play trumpet and to put it into your songs? Like what motivated, trumpet?
Well, what motivated it was it's not a very common instrument in music, and it's such a pretty instrument. I love the sound of the trumpet, and when you can have a good sound, it's a beautiful sound. I've always had that gift for trumpet, so I was like, why not use it? And some songs, I mean, there's some songs where I have it in the background where you can't really hear it, but there's some songs where it's a pretty dominant instrument, and I play it out loud to where you can hear it. But what motivated me was that I can play anything on the trumpet. There's not one thing I can't play. If I hear it, I can figure it out. And it gave me the ear to music because once I learned trumpet, I started learning other instruments. I started teaching myself guitar, piano. So gave me the ear to be able to hear, pleasing chords and melodies, and being able to just improvise and make up my own melodies and make my own chord progressions, and be able to really um, make my own music that's unique to myself.
Wow. And I like that you like overuse, well, not really overuse, but I like that you're so dedicated to trumpet. Because I can never do it. I'm sorry. I've tried, but the trumpet is just too much sometimes. In my opinion, no need to offend. But like I also did band, and I could not I could not stand trumpets. They were in my school. They were the worst instrument. Like I could not stand trumpets. Like no offense to you.
No, no, I understand what you're talking about because it's funny you say that because I was in band too and being in marching band, but my band, I loved my band director because he was so good at controlling the brass and he wouldn't just let them blast. Like he said, play loud without playing loud. So basically play as loud as you can with a good sound. If you're not making a good sound, then you shouldn't be playing that loud.
oh
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, I actually went to Coppell High School. They're huge. They're actually a pretty big. We went to state um, for Texas, and we marched in state. But I understand where you're coming from because my wife, she played in a marching band, and the trumpets, all they did were blast, and it's not a good sound if there's blasting in your ear and it doesn't sound good.
For sure, yeah. Like where I sat at, I was right by a trumpet player, and like, do you know how annoying that is to just have that guy just pumping out loud? I play sax, so I played the sax, and it's annoying to hear the trumpet in your one ear, and then the other you're trying to hear your director like conduct you, and trying to tell you the sax.
Yeah. Oh, so you played saxophone? That's cool. Yeah, no, this I remember the saxophones and the trumpets. Like the saxophones would always turn around and they would be like upset just whenever we would have to play like a loud piece. And I felt bad because a lot of my friends were saxophones and we're just playing, right in their ear. But to kind of accommodate for that, our band director would have us play like above their, like we wouldn't play down. We were required to have like our trumpets level, and we had stands, so we were higher up. So it wasn't too bad for my saxophone section, but I don't know if y'all had like stands where y'all were able to, the trumpets were like elevated basically, like where the sound wasn't directly in your ear.
I mean, we did. The only time that we didn't was like during marching season, like during marching season or like during competition. So like when we did march, like we couldn't have stands. Like you really would have to tape your um I had to tape my music on the side of my instrument and I would turn it while I was playing.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, that's crazy that we both were in band. Yeah, that's a
I
fun topic. I really enjoyed band and got a lot of good memories from that. Like, and it had a huge, a huge part of me really getting into music. Because if it weren't for band, I might not even be making music right now. To be honest, I don't know.
Wow, really?
Well, because trumpet is what I started making music once I realized how good I was at. I mean, I was singing. I sang in talent shows in elementary school and stuff, and got awards, but I didn't really like think about producing or like start actually making my own music. I would just sing covers and do the talent shows. But once I got into middle school and I realized like, well, I can play instruments too. I might as well just start making music. And that's when I really dove into trying to create my own sound.
And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. You don't strike me as much of a singing person anyway, so I'm glad that you just stuck by like your own, way.
Right, yeah. Well, I did. It's funny. Like the songs I sang were like Jason Mraz. That was when he was like really popular. But I sang some songs in talent shows, like "I'm Yours" by Jason Mraz. Who doesn't know that song?
Oh yeah.
I won first prize in the fifth grade talent show for that song, and even wore the fedora and the whole outfit. So I mean, you would never think that that's where I was. And you wouldn't think if you saw me or heard my voice that that's just, oh, he's the guy that sang Jason Mraz, because I'm over here making like emo pop punk type music now. It's kind of funny.
It is, wow. You don't strike me as like a talent show person, but hey, teach their own.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I was born to perform. I've been performing my whole life pretty much.
For sure, for sure. And I'm really into it.
And another thing is, I chose the cover art for "That's My Life." You saw that's me as a 2-year-old, and I'm listening to one of those old CD players, and I'm like really into the music. I have no idea what song I was playing, but you could see I'm like into it, and I'm like I have my hands covering the earphones so I can't hear my mom and dad. I'm pretty sure, like I was just focused on the music, but it's just crazy that I was like 2 years old in a car seat, and I had one of those old CD players. I don't know if you remember those.
Oh, I do, I do. And that's you in the photo? Wow.
Yeah, that's actually, I forgot to mention that that's me in the photo. And it's funny how I made that the cover art. We were at my granddad's, and my wife was looking through baby photos of me, and I was like getting embarrassed. And then she was like, "Oh, this one would be a really cool cover art." And I looked at it, I was like, "Actually, that would, like, look how into I'm in the music. This will be great." And so she took a picture of it and I edited it and, made it look more like a cover art, of course. And, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be the cover art."
Wow, wow. Well, it really fits. I like that it really fits. It definitely fits um what you're talking about. As far as but basically your life. I mean, I couldn't think of any other perfect cover than a picture from your actual life.
Right, and that was another reason I chose the picture because it's like, that's my life, I wanted to put something, where I was innocent and wasn't had no worries and no problems. And it kind of contradicts the song, but in a way where people can see that I'm musically inclined. Since I was 2 years old in a car seat, so that's my life.
Wow, that blew me away. That blew me away. And something that really is curious, and I find this all over your all over every time I search your name is a teardrop. I'm curious to know like what's up with the teardrop.
So that one is funny. I see a lot of artists that their bios have their signature emoji or whatever, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
was when I first started like really trying to make an impact or stick out basically with my emoji. And I just I thought about emo teardrop, crying or sad boy vibes. And I was looking at an emoji that I haven't seen that's common, and I was like, I like the teardrop, we'll use the teardrop. And then ever since then I started using that. But that's funny that you bring that up because I never thought anyone would think take a actually look into that or be curious about that. That's just something that I don't know. I was just trying to make my profile stake out because all these bigger artists did it. So I was like, okay, well maybe if I had a signature emoji, um, more people will follow me. That was kind of the thought process. And
Wow. Well, I had to question it because every time I looked on your links, that's where it was. I mean, the name was already unique as it is, but the range job got me too.
right. And the name is hilarious how I got the name. I was pretty wasted at a college party, and I can't even believe I remembered it. But that was the only thing I remembered that night was my friend. We were talking about my favorite childhood movie was Finding Nemo. That was my favorite childhood movie growing up was Finding Nemo. I loved it. Um, and my friend looks over and he goes, "Demo," because my first name begins with a D, and so and I make emo music, so it's like Demo, emo, Nemo, and it stuck. I liked how it was catchy. People in school just started calling me it. They were calling me Demo. It became my nickname. My friends call me that. Even whenever I introduce myself to new people, because one of my other best friends' name, he has the same name as me, but it's spelled with a different letter. One of the letters is spelled different. I'll tell you my first name. My name is Devin. My first name is Devin. Mine's spelled with an I. His is spelled with an O. And so every time we hang out and we meet someone new, and we should, I'm like, I'm Devin. He's like, I'm Devin, and I'm like, just call me Demo. And so they just end up calling me Demo. That's what I go by now. And it's stuck ever since. And then Demo was already someone else's name, and I was like, dang, that someone took that name. I can't just use Demo, so I added TRII tree. And the story behind how I got that was another one of my best friends. He's actually probably my number one best friend. He's really tall, dude. He's like 6'4" and super skinny. He looks like a tree. And so that's how I got Deemotrii. I added him into my artist name because I mean I've always called him Tree. He's gone through a lot of things. We've gone through a lot together in life, and so we're really close. And I wanted to add him into my artist name, and then that became unique, Deemotrii. I still go by Deemo, but Deemotrii. There was no other artist named that. We can't find anyone else named that and spelled exactly the same. And so it stuck. That was what I wanted to go by.
Wow, that was even more crazy than I thought.
It's crazy because you don't even think about what how some of these artists get their name, and then mine is a pretty funny story. I don't remember the whole thing because I was pretty much blackout drunk, but that happens in college.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, for sure. And it's crazy how you remember even though you were drunk, and most people don't remember until after they get drunk, or just moments right after. It's even then when you get drunk, it's all blurry. So it's crazy that you remember like that exact moment. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it was like a sign basically. Like when I remembered that, I was like, okay, that has to be my name. Like I can't just remember that one conversation and my friend calling me that, and it doesn't mean anything. And I love going by Demo. I love when people call me Demo. It's catchy, and that's what I want to go by.
I like it too. I like it. And that's how people find you. So I don't have to look through multiple accounts to find you. Like I just
Hmm.
find you and that's it.
Exactly. And now that I got a more following and a bigger audience, now I pretty much am the only Demo because the other Demo is not like his music isn't like as popular as mine. So whenever you look on Spotify and you type in my name Demo, even if you type in Demo, my Spotify will show up, and even in YouTube as well. So it's been a journey, and but the name that's definitely my name. I'm not changing it. I've actually gone through like I've before Demo it was Airhead, and Airhead's a funny story because I played trumpet and they used to call us airheads
Oh
because
god.
we'd blow and our faces would get red, and that's one of my favorite candies, and so that's how I got the name Airhead. And then I also wanted to be named after a candy because I uh, I was listening to a lot of Marshmello, his music, so I was like, oh well, I want to be like Marshmello, so I'm gonna be Airhead, and then my thing's gonna be like I'm gonna have a big balloon, and and then that fell through once that my friend called me Demo. I was like, I like Demo a lot better. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was my name before it was Airhead, and it didn't stick as well as Demo.
Thank God you changed it. I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
I don't
I'm
think
glad too.
I don't think I would have interviewed you if you were like airhead. Like I wouldn't stop laughing.
No, I understand too. Um, I mean, even before, and the reason I changed it is because I was dating not my wife, but I was dating someone in college, and she thought it was funny and would make fun of me for it. So I was just like, well, maybe I should change it. And then whenever my friend called me Demo, he saved me. I guess I give him credit. I tell him every time I contact him, or he's not like a close friend, but he's still a good friend of mine. We talk on social media or Snapchat, but I let him know, hey man, you gave me my name, so you're the reason I'm Demo. So I thank him for that.
Shout out to you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, God. But that's crazy. Like your whole life planned out, and like now you perform, and now like all this is going on, and um, I'm just really proud and happy for you.
I appreciate it. I'm really happy to be doing this too. This is fun. I'm having a blast. I hope y'all are having fun too.
I think they are. I think they are, and you couldn't pick a better time to show up. This is season 3 here, so it's a new chapter, and glad that you're part of the new chapter.
Ooh, I love new things, so that's what I always say. I love to be in the new.
Well, you're definitely sitting right in that for sure. Um, and I do want to really thank you for showing up. It means a lot to me that you would take time to do this. I mean, we had trials and tribulations, but I'm just really glad that you pulled time to do this. Um, it means a lot to me that you were even interested, like to even be on this, on the show. So I thank you a lot for
Okay, and it's give me one sec. Sorry.
that. You're fine. I'm gonna just keep this face flowing. If y'all not here earlier, you guys will get a chance to hear his brand new single live right after the show. So y'all better stick around because you'll get a chance to hear um the brand new music. So get excited. Get real excited. And actually, to point out, to for sure point out the radio special is happening. So make sure you all submit your songs in. It'll be 1 hour of just curated um, music. So make sure that you guys for sure submit music, and yeah, make sure y'all do that.
Sorry about that musically. I'm I'm back here. Sorry, that was my boss walked in, so I had to handle that real quick. But what were we talking about?
Let's see. Oh yeah, I was thanking you for showing up, and I appreciate you.
Oh yes. Yeah, I mean I'm so happy I got to do this, and I always see, I've always gotten into podcasts. My friends are always, showing me different podcasts. I love what you're doing here. It's been great. I'm so thankful to be able to, share my music and share these vulnerabilities and emotions behind my music so my fans can get a better idea of what my music's about than just the song, the music, and the lyrics. There's stories behind, the art that I create. And it's been great. Some of my biggest inspirations with my music, I would have to say number one is, Juice World. He was huge, and he was a big, he's very vulnerable in his music. You can hear it. So that was kind of something that I took away from him, took from him and used in my music. And Post Malone's another one. I've always liked his music, and people have said I kind of, I can have that. I can kind of sound like him in my vocals. And then actually, it's a funny other inspiration. 21 Pilots, which is way different than any of the, which is way different. They're a band, but they, their uniqueness and the way that they only have two people and they create this crazy. I even say they have their own genre basically, but those are some of my biggest inspirations, and I'm just thankful to be able to do this. It's been great.
Very glad to hear so. Very glad, very glad. And thank you for those wonderful last words. We appreciate it. And this is when I turn the camera. I'm just gonna pretend to turn the camera. Pretend. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out That's My Life. Y'all get a chance to get an exclusive listen to it right here and all out on platforms. So very, very exciting. And I can't wait for more music from you. And I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate y'all for listening. Keep on enjoying season 3. Keep on supporting musicians. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And I'll catch you guys on the flip. So, excuse me. Peace out and see you guys later. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight as we dove into a wonderful podcast episode. Now, in this following segment, you will get a chance to hear this artist's showcase because every artist that comes on the show requires to do a showcase. So, buckle up, get some popcorn, and enjoy the showcase. I hope you guys love it, and check out the artist when you get a chance to. Hope you guys love it. Enjoy. Instead, I would rather drown in my own debts than lay in my deathbed. Take a deep breath, it'll all be fine. Feel the blood rush into my head at night. Demons in my head say I won't be fine. Hope I make it to the end, cause that's my life. Yeah, that's my life. Yeah, that's my life. I don't want it all to end. Trying hard to fix it. Lord, take away my sins. I'm down on my knees, begging you please take me home. Ooh, oh, knees, begging you please take me home. Take me home. Take a deep breath, it'll all be fine. Feel the blood rush into my head at night. Demons in my head say I won't be fine. Hope I make it to the end, cause that's my life.